Hello dear people, this is your astrologer friend Irfan once more with you. So, namaskar, greetings and adab to all of you. Today, Jupiter has moved into Scorpio while being in the sign of Libra for almost a year. With Jupiter moving into Scorpio, a lot of people with different ascendants will get different results because the transit of Jupiter and Saturn generally bring some of the other effects and some of the other results with them. So let's see what Jupiter's transition into Scorpio means, because the moment it transitions into Scorpio, Rahu sitting in Cancer aspects Jupiter with its 5th aspect, while Jupiter aspects Rahu with its 9th. So there's going to be a host of possibilities for different ascendants. What it means for you, what results it will bring for you, let's deep dive into it with a video on Jupiter transitioning into Scorpio. So let's look at what the transition of Jupiter from Libra into Scorpio means for the Aries ascendants. Now we know that for Aries ascendants, Jupiter has transitioned from the 7th house into the 8th house. Now what is the 8th house for? 8th house is the house of sudden events, finances, taxes, insurance money, inheritance, joint properties with spouse, in-laws, gains from government, and also all those things which are underground, which is pertaining to minerals, could also be related to government. Now sitting in the 8th house, Jupiter aspects with its 5th aspect, the 12th house. Now, with its 5th aspect aspecting the 12th house of its own sign, Pisces, means that sudden events related to the 12th house may come about. Now, what is the 12th house? The 12th house is house of police or jails, of hospitals, of seclusion, and even foreign lands. So, because the aspect is benefic, so any people who have challenges in their life pertaining to police cases or health issues, trips to hospitals, please expect some relief in that. And those people who have been making plans to go abroad, those plans may also fructify suddenly. So please fasten your seatbelts and get your papers in order, because those plans may come about where you travel to foreign lands. Now, with the 7th aspect, Jupiter is aspecting the 2nd house of Taurus. Taurus is the sign of money, and the 2nd house also pertains to savings and money coming into the house. So Jupiter aspecting the 2nd house means that suddenly money may come into the house. It could be due to insurance claims if they have been held up. Inheritance may also come in if it's been locked away. It could also mean that because of some court cases or police cases going in your favor, money comes in, settlement of cases happen. It could also mean that you get gain from the government, because the 8th house is also the house of government, and you also gain money, or some money comes into the house also because of those areas that you because of investments that you have made in areas of the 8th house, which is like stocks in minerals, stocks in oil bonds, or oil stocks, and so forth. Now, with its 9th aspect, Jupiter is aspecting the 4th house. Now, what is the 4th house for? The 4th house is the house of material benefits from all those things that give us comforts in our life, such as houses, such as cars, such as air conditioners, electronics, jewelry, and all that. So, with this 9th aspect aspecting the 4th house means suddenly you may also go in for investments in real estate. You may purchase vehicles. You may also purchase ACs, or some high value acquisition may happen, because the 4th house is also the house of mother. So it could also be that more interactions may happen with mother. You may visit the mother more. Mother may come to visit you more, and that may also happen. In fact, even in-laws may come visiting your home, because the 8th house is also the house of in-laws. That may also happen. Now, the other interesting thing is that right now Rahu is transiting Cancer, And so for Aries, it is sitting in the 4th house. Sitting in the 4th house, Rahu is aspecting the 8th house with its 5th aspect. Rahu also has the 5th and 9th aspect just like Jupiter. And since Rahu will be aspecting Jupiter with its 5th aspect, which means Rahu is going to increase the hunger of Jupiter for all those areas that Jupiter is going to give results for. So with its hunger creating aspect on Jupiter, Jupiter will expand its need for or give expanded results of the 12th house, the 2nd house and the 4th house for the Aries ascendant. And Jupiter aspecting Rahu would control Rahu's hunger and desire for material benefits for Aries ascendant. But at the same time, the native having such a position may also indulge in more acquisition because of Rahu placed in the 4th house. So it is going to work both ways. Now let's see what will be the effect of Jupiter moving into Scorpio for Taurus ascendants. For Taurus ascendants, Jupiter will be moving from the 6th house into the 7th house and is going to aspect the 11th house of gains, which means that sitting in the 7th house, which is the house of spouse and also the house of daily wages and business partnerships, and aspecting the 11th house of gains means that through spouse or through business partnerships, there may be gains which may come about to the native. People who are working in large organizations may also get gains or increments or even a promotion in their place of work. If people are into business, you may also have gains especially if you are in a partnership where your business may thrive and you will get gains for that business association. With its 7th aspect, Jupiter also aspects the Lagna or the 1st house, which means that there is going to be a lot of focus on self, because Taurus is also the sign which is ruled by Venus, and people who generally have Venus as the Lagna Lord also focus a lot on how they look. This is going to come as a increased impetus on your looks, on your health. So people are going to be more health conscious. People may want to join the gym. People may want to take care of themselves. People may do some grooming for themselves. People may buy clothes to look better. So some acquisitions and some focus is going to be on the self. With its 9th aspect, Jupiter will be aspecting, or Jupiter is aspecting the 3rd house of the sign of Cancer. Now aspecting the 3rd house, which is also the house of marketing, of communication, of self-effort and also of short journeys. So some short journeys may happen during this time for benefits. You may do some short journeys for marketing, for communication, for promotions of something to do with your company or your business. And you may also do short trips to visit your siblings. These trips could also be with your spouse and also with your business partner. And because the 3rd house is also the house of effort, so there's going to be some more effort that you put in than normal in your day-to-day working, including spending time with spouse, spending time on yourself for self-improvement and trying to get more gains and push for gains and push for promotions at the place of work. Now for the Taurus ascendants, Rahu is sitting in the 3rd house in the sign of Cancer, as we already know that Rahu is transiting Cancer, and sitting in the 3rd house aspecting Jupiter. Rahu will increase the hunger of Jupiter for gains and for self-awareness and self-focus, and also for getting more out of the results of the 3rd house, which means short journeys and also for marketing and promotion of one's business or one's company. For people who are Gemini ascendants, Jupiter will be aspecting the 10th house of career, which means sitting in the sign of work or sign of service, which is the 6th house, and aspecting career means there is going to be focus on the career, and there will be more focus on getting more out of your service. So there may be more push, because 6th house is also the house of competition, also the house of hidden enemies. So you may overcome competition, you may overcome your enemies, and you may benefit at your workplace or in your career. Because the 6th house is also the house of court cases and litigation. If any court cases are to be settled, then those court cases would be settled in your favor. For Aries, it is more about the police cases, but for Gemini ascendants, it is about cases which are running in courts, which have been filed for any claims that people are doing on each other. So Jupiter's 5th aspect is going to be on career, so the focus for Gemini people will be on career. The next aspect of Jupiter will be on the 12th house with his 7th aspect. So for service, people may travel abroad or get jobs in foreign lands and move to foreign lands. So if you have been trying to get abroad or find a job, then you may travel. For Aries ascendant, the difference between Aries and Gemini is that Jupiter aspecting the 12th house from 8th house means those developments may happen suddenly. It may or may not be related to career. It could also be journeys which are connected to, sudden journeys connected to some gains that you're trying to get out of the 12th house. It could also be a posting or for work. It could also be for a health checkup, because 12th house is the house of hospitals also from the 8th house. But because the 6th house for Gemini is of career and service, so this is more related to work than anything else for Gemini ascendants. And with its 9th aspect, Jupiter aspects the 2nd house of saving. That means increment or more gains coming in the house or increase of family earnings because of your work or your service, which could mean that there may be increment or even a promotion. Specifically for Gemini ascendants, because Jupiter is aspecting both the 10th house and the 2nd house of savings. And Rahu aspecting Jupiter from the 2nd house will increase the expectation that family members have and family has from the native. And so there's going to be more focus on increased earnings for Gemini ascendants. For Cancer ascendants, we know that Jupiter's 5th aspect is going to be on the 9th house from the 5th house. So this is an excellent position for Cancer ascendants, because Jupiter has moved into a trine house, into a trikona house from the 4th house. And aspecting the 9th house means there could be long distance travels. There could also be more focus on spirituality, even on religion. There could also be focus on father, where you go and meet your father, especially if he is not living in your city that you are currently in. Then you may travel long distance to meet your father, or for pilgrimage, or you may even go on a pilgrimage with your father, or you may even go and meet your gurus and teachers, or there may be focus on higher education. Some natives may want to go for higher degrees, join up for post-graduation degrees or some certifications. And there will be more gains, because the 9th house is also the house of fate and luck and gains. So you may also find that you turn lucky in the areas of the 5th house, which is also house of speculation, house of children. So a birth of child may also be seen with this position of Jupiter. And it may also be that you invest in stocks or speculative investments are made, and those come about and give you gains. The second aspect Jupiter is having is on the 11th house of gains in Taurus. So this also means that gains coming in job, in your area of work, because the 11th house also denotes large organizations and also society and elder siblings. So gains also can be coming in from elder siblings. and the focus may be on work related gains or job related gains also, because the 11th house is second to the 10th house and also stands for large organizations. The other aspect that Jupiter has, that is the 9th aspect, is on the Lagna or the first house, which means that there is going to be focus on children, because the 5th house is that of children. And so the focus is going to be on children, and the native will spend more time with children, and we also spend more time on grooming self, but involving children. So you may go, you may join the gym along with your children, you may do some sport activities with them, you may even travel with them, and you may also spend a lot of time on games with them, because 5th house is also of sports and games, and you may also spend more time on children's education. You may visit their schools. So your focus is going to be on self and on children, and also speculative gains with this position. And with Rahu sitting in the Lagna and aspecting Jupiter, it is going to give more hunger for these areas. For Leo ascendants, Jupiter has transitioned from the 3rd house into the 4th house, and it is aspecting the 8th house, which means sudden events related to the areas of the 4th house, which is also for material gains, property, houses, real estate may also come about. So a person may suddenly invest in these properties, or may also buy properties along with spouse. So the difference between the position in Aries, where Jupiter was sitting in the 8th house and aspecting the 4th house from Leo, is that in that position Jupiter was aspecting the 4th house from the 8th, which meant that sudden events may come about because of which you invest. This position is different, that which means you have been looking at investments from some time and they suddenly come about during the transition of Jupiter from the 3rd into the 4th for Leo ascendants. The second aspect Jupiter is going to have is on the 10th house of career. So material benefits may come about, or domestic happiness, because the 4th house is also of domestic happiness, may come about related to events of career. So a sudden promotion or increment may bring a lot of happiness into the house. Acquisitions may also happen, and a person may also gain more out of the career in terms of material benefits, because the 10th house for Leo ascendants is that of Taurus. And the 9th aspect of Jupiter is on the 12th house. That means people may change their residence to a long distance away or into foreign lands with entire family, may move with family. So there is a big possibility that you may en masse with your family settle abroad during this time. And again, Rahu's 5th aspect is going to increase the results of Jupiter, increase Jupiter's hunger for results of the 8th house, the 10th house and the 12th house. For Virgo associates or for Virgo ascendants, Jupiter is transitioning from the 2nd house into the 3rd house, which means Jupiter is aspecting the 7th house, which means there's going to be more effort that people are going to put in, because the 3rd house is the house of effort with spouse or on spouse. So there's going to be focus on spouse and marital relation, and even on business partnership. There may be short journeys that you take with spouse or with a business partner, or to increase business. You may also have short journeys that you do for religious pilgrimages, for spiritual events, and also to meet father or to be with father. And the 9th aspect that Jupiter has is on the 11th house of gains. So effort will go into gaining out of the 11th house. So because the third house is also the house of marketing, of promotions. So a lot of effort that the native is going to put on or will focus on gains, especially if he is working in large organizations, or also through gains from elder siblings happen for Virgo associates. And Rahu sitting in the 11th house is a good position, and aspecting Jupiter in the third house means more effort will be done because Rahu is aspecting Jupiter in the third house, will increase your efforts, and you may focus a lot more on work very hard during the next 1 year. So please tighten your seatbelt. It's going to be a roller coaster ride for you. For Libra ascendants, Jupiter is transitioning from the first house into the second house, which means the focus is going to be on the 6th house of service. Native may focus more on work or work related areas, and also indulge in competition for benefits or for higher income. So a person may think that I'm earning less, I'm gaining less, so he will be focusing on winning over competition. Even some people may sit for competitive exams if you're not working, or even if you're working, some people may enter competitive exams because they want to increase their earnings. So the focus is going to be on competitive exams, on overcoming competition, on service. The 7th aspect Jupiter has is on the 8th house. So sudden events in family or of family may get Jupiter to focus on areas of the 8th house, which could be on in-laws or visiting in-laws, filing taxes or claiming for taxes, or getting certain notices, or getting benefits from taxes, or getting returns from your taxes, or getting insurance money from insurance claims, or getting benefits from government. So the focus is going to be, or you will get benefits from, or savings, or your savings will increase, or your family earnings will increase because of some sudden event which is going to happen. And then from the second house, it aspects the 10th house of career, which means the focus will be on increasing earnings through more work or more focus on your career. So you'll be working very hard to try and see if you can get an increment in your workspace, or you may even want to change your job because you feel that you want to increase your income or your salary or the money coming into the house. And this is going to be more increased because Rahu is sitting in the 10th house and aspecting Jupiter. So Rahu sitting in the 10th house will increase the hunger of Jupiter in the areas that is aspecting in the 6th, 8th and 10th house. But at the same time, the native's aspiration, expectations from his own family and from work will also go up because of Rahu's aspect. For those people who have Scorpio ascendant, for them Jupiter is transitioning from the 12th house into the Lagna or the first house. So Jupiter will be aspecting the 5th house of speculative gains, also of arts. So those people who are artists or who are in media or indulged or in cinema, anything related to arts, the focus is going to be on that. So some people may enroll in getting education in singing, or education in arts, or education in dancing, or may ask their children to enroll themselves into classes where their own children can learn these. And the focus is also going to be on speculative gains. So the person may want to increase his own standing in society, and for that he may think that he requires more earnings, and for the earnings he may invest in speculative gains such as stocks and shares. And the 7th aspect is going to be on the 7th house from the 1st house, which means that there is going to be more focus on marriage, where the person feels that He needs to get a good spouse who will also increase his standing in society. So unmarried or single people may want to get married, may start dating, and people may also start building or get involved in a business contract or business partnership during this time. The other aspect that Jupiter has, that is the 9th aspect, is on the 9th house, which means that there's going to be focus on long distance travel for benefit of self, and also could be for getting higher education, because it is aspecting the 9th house from the Lagna, which means the focus is going to be the person will want to increase his own standing, his own sense of identity, or his own self-development through education or through spirituality or through a religious event as well. And with Rahu aspecting Jupiter from the 9th house, it means that a person will spend a lot of time on spirituality, thinking about spirituality, may indulge in more religion-based activities, visit temples with family, even with father, go long distance to for spirituality or for religion or religious activities. For Sagittarius ascendants, Jupiter is transiting from the 11th house into the 12th. Aspecting the 4th house from the 12th means those people who are living in foreign lands, they may invest in property, they may invest in real estate, they may buy cars. Those people who are working in MNCs may go for acquisitions of houses, for land, or for air conditions, or any material pursuits that they have for Sagittarius ascendants. The 7th aspect on the 6th house means the people who are in foreign lands will be focusing on their career, may want to gain more out of career, maybe even sitting in competitive exams to do better. So some people who are working in MNCs, even if not abroad, may focus on career and may also want to sit in competitive exams so that they enhance their career, or they may even want to change their career from moving from MNC company into something which is more related to clearing exams and then finding a job. So this is also for government or civil services, competitive exams kind of position. Those people who are in the armed forces, because the 12th house is also the house of jails and courts. So people who are in armed forces or in the police may also focus on career, may even get enhancement of career, and through that may also do real estate purchases or acquisition of more material comforts, because it is also aspecting the 4th house. And Jupiter aspecting the 8th house means that people may suddenly do long distance travel abroad. It could also be sudden events related to health may also happen if Jupiter is not placed well. And those people who are armed forces may also gain from government, because the 8th house is also the house of government. And Rahu sitting in the 8th house and aspecting Jupiter in the 12th house means the hunger for material benefits, for increments, or to clear competitive exams, and to gain out of the areas of the 8th house like insurance or inheritance may increase for those natives who are Sagittarius ascendants. For Capricorn ascendants, Jupiter is transiting from the 10th house into the 11th house of gains. Aspecting the 3rd house, it's going to increase efforts to get gains, more gains out of your job if you work in large organizations, or from your network or from your friends. And the focus may even be on younger siblings. It could also be on promotions in marketing, so people may do short journeys to get gains, promotion of activities for your company. The 7th aspect of Jupiter from the 11th house is on the 5th house, which means that gains coming out of children for those people who have children. So you may get good news from children. They may do very well. They may even win sports activities. They may do well in education. You may also get gains out of the 5th house, which means from speculative investments that you have made. And also in sports, if people who are Capricorn ascendants are sports people, then you may also get gain in sports, because 5th house is also the house of sports and games. And the 9th aspect of Jupiter is on the 7th house, which means the focus is on gains from spouse or for business partnership. So even your spouse may gain, because of which you eventually gain more material gains coming to the house, because the spouse is doing very well. Or in your business partnerships, you get gains, or you get gains in a large organization, if you're working in large organizations, through your network. And through that, there is also more gains coming into the house or into the family. And Rahu aspecting from the 7th house means your spouse may also push you for more gains, or for asking for promotion, for asking for increments from your network, from your work, from your work, especially if you're working in a large organization. And if there are any benefits that were held up from your elder sibling, that may come about, or your elder sibling may also help you in getting placed in a large organization, or in a big company, or even in a government organization. For Aquarius ascendants, Jupiter has transitioned from the 9th house into the 10th house. So the focus is going to be that through career you get more savings or more earnings into the house. Or for some people, you may even bring work, a lot more work to home. That means you may bring work from home or work to home, and you may do a lot of work from home for Aquarius ascendants, because of the 10th house or the 2nd house sharing energies. This also means more gains of the 10th house or from career, resulting in more benefits coming into home, and through that more savings of the family income going up. With its 7th aspect, Jupiter aspects the 4th house, which means because of doing very well in career or a promotion, you're also going for acquisitions of material pursuits such as land or real estate or vehicles. And for some people, your mother may be instrumental in gains from your career if it's family related business or family owned business. The 9th aspect of Jupiter is going to be on the 6th house. So with 10th house and the 6th house sharing energies or exchanging energies, 10th house is that of career and 6th house is that of service, which means that the focus is going to be to compete at your workplace and to get gains in your career through overcoming competition. Because the 6th house is also of court cases and litigations, especially if there are any inquiries held up for such people at workplace, then that means that they will get benefits of getting cleared through those inquiries. And with Rahu sitting there, service related, so you may also work very hard to overcome those challenges which are work related. For Pisces ascendants, Jupiter has transitioned from the 8th house into the 9th house, which means from the 9th house it is aspecting the Lagna, which could be that a person travels long distance for education to enhance his own standing or sense of identity. He may also do long distance travel for some religious event or for spirituality, because he feels that spiritually he will be a more enlightened person, and so he makes the journey. And since the 9th house is also the house of gains, so he may gain out of long distance travel also with this placement. It could also mean that father travels long distance to be with you, or you go on a religious pilgrimage with father. The 7th aspect is on the 3rd house, which means that a long distance travel may happen for marketing or from promotional event specifically aimed at getting more gains. It could also mean that you make a long distance travel to meet your younger siblings or promoting the activities of your company, or if you're tied up with a religious organization or spiritual organization, you make a long distance travel to promote the cause of your organization. Because the third house is also the house of effort, it could also mean that for higher education you put in a lot of effort so that your sense of identity and your standing in society goes up. With its ninth aspect, Jupiter is aspecting the fifth house, which means that gains coming out of the fifth house, gains coming from children or children joining, if children are old enough, children going for higher education or pursuing higher education and going long distance or traveling long distance for higher education. It could also mean that the change of luck through fate of luck, you get gains out of the fifth house, which could also mean sudden gains or good gains from stocks or mutual funds or such speculative investments that you have done. Now that we have seen the results of Jupiter transitioning into Scorpio and what different results it can bring for different ascendants, please go and look into your respective horoscopes for the placements of Jupiter into your natal charts as well as for your Navamach, and see whether it is a benefic planet for you or there are going to be some malefic aspects on Jupiter, or it's not sitting in a good position or in good strength, because basis this the results may come about, and so that you can be better prepared. So friends, till we meet some other time, please like this video, please subscribe to this video, because more such videos are going to follow. If you want to reach out to me, please check out my email ID in the links below, and please reach out to me for any personal consultation that you may want to get done. Till we meet some other time, thank you so much.